All right, let's talk a little Indians and World Series and everything else with our Indians beat reporter Paul Hoynes. Hoynesy, what's going on?
Hi, guys. How you doing today?
We're doing all right, Hoynesy. The guy who's not doing great is Alex Anthopoulos. He's not coming back to Toronto, apparently. There is a petition already from Blue Jays fans. They aren't happy about it. They want Mark Shapiro gone already. Shapiro's first move, not a popular one. What do you think of all this?
Yeah, that's the way to to walk into a new job, kind of on your tiptoes. Just blend into the background. Nobody will notice you for a couple months. I just think this is Anthopoulos' probably his call. It looked like from what I've been reading, they offered him a 5-year deal. He turned it down, and just from talking to Mark Shapiro before he took the job, or before he kind of took over the job, I know he wanted to get back into the baseball end of things and have some say in that. And, I don't think he really, when he became president of the Indians, his handpicked guy, Chris Antonetti, was the GM, became the GM, and I don't think he was going to step on Chris's toes. So I think this is, his way of kind of coming in, and, we've seen it in Boston with Dave Dombrowski, you're Theo Epstein with the Cubs. You're kind of you're running the organization, but you're running the organization and perhaps the baseball side of things, but you've got a GM under you, and obviously Anthopoulos didn't want to do that.
Hoynes, you have to help me understand something here. Why is Mark Shapiro so well respected around Major League Baseball? Why were the Toronto Blue Jays so interested in Shapiro? Because if you look at the resume and you look at the number of playoff appearances that the Indians made under Shapiro, and that's the name of the game, winning games and getting to the postseason, that's not something that's necessarily on his side. He doesn't have that on his resume.
Well, I think this, when the Blue Jays hired him, they hired him as, to run the organization, not strictly the baseball side, not strictly the business side. I think they wanted him, to lead the organization. I think he's a sharp guy. He's a people person. I know, that's why I don't think this was Shapiro coming in and dropping the axe on this guy. Just from my experience, he doesn't operate that way. He's a guy that kind of comes in and checks out the lay of the land before making a move. And, obviously he's had some time to do that because, he took the job in August or whenever the news broke. But he's not a heavy-handed guy, but he is a leader. He is a guy that, has impressed different people in baseball. Bud Selig put him on, not the rules committee, but the on the field committee with replay and all that stuff. So he's well respected. I think he can build an organization. He showed he can not win consistently in Cleveland, but win on a restricted payroll from time to time to be competitive. I don't think that's going to be a problem in Toronto, but I think that goes a long way with some people. So I think I think he's proven himself as a leader. Not is he a winning GM? I don't that remains to be seen. I mean, and those probably days are behind him right now. But his record is spotty there. But I think given the total picture, this is a guy that is an impressive guy, and I think that's why Toronto hired him.
Hoynesy, obviously now there is that GM opening in Toronto. Does he go fishing in the Indians organization at all to maybe try and find a guy?
Yeah, I would imagine a guy like Ross Atkins, who has been Shapiro's guy, who's been in the organization a long time. He's vice president of player personnel. He's in the last few months he interviewed for the GM job with the Phillies and the Angels. So I would think he would get some consideration in Toronto.
Pointed, this is usually the time of year when we're on to the World Series and we've got 2 teams left, and other teams around baseball and other teams around the NBA, NFL. When you get to the final outcome here, Those teams are looking at the teams that make it that far and saying, all right, what can we copy of what they do? It's funny because Golden State wins the NBA championship, and now you got these big dudes that are trying to shoot three-pointers and go out to the perimeter. So when you look at New York and you look at Kansas City, and if you're a team around Major League Baseball that wants to get to that point, what can you take from these two teams, try and copy moving forward?
Well, I think, from the Mets, obviously, try to find three guys that throw 98 miles an hour. And,
that's simple, Hoynesy. No problem there, right?
Yeah, and stay at the bottom of the strike zone, and get a closer that is indestructible and can pitch get you 4 or 5 outs a game. And from Kansas City, you just get a lineup that doesn't make an out. I mean, I was reading some stuff on the World Series on last night on game 2. DeGrom threw 94 pitches, and the Royals swung and missed just 3 times.
Wow.
This is a relentless team that just makes contact. I mean, and Harvey in game 1 threw 30 fastballs, and Kansas City missed 2 of them. So they put the ball in play. And they're just a dangerous, dangerous team. And I think one of the key guys is probably Alcides Escobar. Just when he came over from Milwaukee in that deal about 3 or 4 years ago, first he solidified the defense at shortstop, and then he's turned into a hitter. So he really electrifies that offense from the leadoff spot.
Didn't they get Kane in that same deal?
Yeah, they got Kane in that deal. That was the Greinke deal, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty yeah. And Kane, but Kane, it took Kane a while to come into his own because he was hurt. He got hurt the first couple of years, but that's a great deal and really kind of set them up.
All right, Hoynesy, we will let you go. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, guys.